Good afternoon. This is Max House, broadcasting from beautiful sunny Las Vegas. We're out here visiting our daughter, son-in-law, and brand new grandson here for Thanksgiving. We just want to welcome you. This is a continuation. This is the fourth part, actually, of dynamic duplication, just laying the groundwork, laying the foundation for this approach in this 5x5 model. We've been talking almost from day one about the importance of paradigm shifts and how we view what we do with Reliv, how we go about it. What do we have to change in our thinking in order to make this 5x5 approach viable, doable, effective, powerful? And this is the fourth paradigm shift we're going to be talking about. The first one was buying in at master affiliate versus building to master affiliate. So we talked about that. Then we talked about the paradigm shift of auto ship, which there again very much is central to this approach. So we have to at least look at this and see the value of consistent, dependable volume as we proceed in that 5 wide, 5 deep approach. Then the third paradigm shift is learning the power, I guess power is just the word, the power of voluntarily limiting our width in this approach, because there's power, and I'm going to show you that in this next training. And the fourth paradigm shift we're going to be talking about is LI. That is leveraged interviewing. Okay, so that's really the topic that we're going to be talking about is leveraged interviewing. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to talk about what we've been doing, which is we have been either selling products or selling, quote unquote, this business opportunity, or we've been recruiting. We've been recruiting people to get on our product. We've been recruiting people to come into our business, and we've done a lot of different things. I speak personally. This is basically what I've been doing, either selling products, selling this business, or recruiting, which is even more. So we're persuading or we're convincing people that this is for them. And as we all know, these products absolutely are for everybody. So we won't get into that anymore. But I'm going to contrast selling versus recruiting versus leveraged interviewing. Now, before I get, on the next page, I'm going to show you a scenario. Take it out of the Reliv world and into a totally different world, but just to paint a picture of how leverage can be very effective in bringing people on board where they're fully on board, where they're not dabbling, they're not second guessing, they're not in for a week and out, in for a week and they're in because all the chips are on the table, okay? So that's leverage interviewing. We're going to be talking about that here shortly. Remember, here's our young friend Josh that we're helping him to build to ambassador, presidential, double platinum ambassador, and beyond in this model. We talked yesterday about who are these people. There's 5. Remember, Josh is going to go out and find 5 over a period of time. And we talked about who are they? What do they look like? And I've got a picture on my phone here. I'm going to call back the characteristics that we talked about. Remember, we talked about the character traits of being faithful, available, teachable. They have a committed work ethic. They're caring, they're giving, they're honest, they're courageous, they're bold, they're determined and persistent, they're visionary. So that's who these people are. That's what describes them. But how are we going to find people like that? That's quite a list. But remember that definition that we had yesterday, that the secret to success is grabbing hold of what we want the end result to be and working backwards to the beginning and starting out with that end in mind. So that's important. So in reality, these 5 people are what I want to call, and I guess what John Maxwell would call in his 21 Laws of Irrefutable 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership is the law of the inner circle. Who is Josh surrounding himself with? Who is he mentoring? He's got these mentors up here that are helping him and these people, his inner circle. But Josh is surrounding himself with people with those 10 characteristics we just described. So, but who are they? Who are these people that Josh is surrounding himself with? And how does he go about finding the caliber and quality of people that will fit that criteria we just laid out? So in other words, where do we find these people and how do we find them? Very important question, because if we don't help Josh to get his head around that, then he's going to go out there and he's going to think his job is selling. He's going to think his job is recruiting. He's going to think that he needs to persuade and convince people to come into his deal. And that in reality is one of the bigger dings, D-I-N-G-S, dings against our industry, is the persuasive, coercive, you got to get in, you got to see this, all the stuff that where people go, oh man, you're one of those network marketers. Well, I want to change that paradigm if I can through this. So I'm going to jump to the next page. There again, we're talking about, this is paradigm shift number 4, leveraged interviewing. Here's the scenario, guys. Just like I say, out of the real world, but just so we can get our head around this, let's just say, for the sake of this illustration, that somebody approached you and said, well, let's keep using Josh. Josh, we're starting the middle of January, a competition, if you will, and we're giving you the opportunity to be the head of a team of runners. And if you complete the task that we're assigning you, then we're going to pay you $15,000. Okay, so that's Josh's motivation in this. So Josh, but here's the deal, Josh. What we're asking is this team, over 1 year period of time, so back into January of 2014, altogether, your team has to have logged in 15,000 miles of running in 1 year. So that's you plus your 5, so that's 6 of you, Josh. And if you and your team complete that 15,000 miles in 1 year, then you will get $15,000. But here's the incentive for the people that join you on this team, is that next year they can lead their own team and qualify for the same deal. So that's the scenario, okay? All right, so here's Josh. He's looking for what? One, he's looking for people that either love to run now, or maybe like to run, or maybe have always wanted to run a half marathon or a marathon or something like that. So what does he enter into to find these people? He enters into an interview process. Now remember, Josh isn't looking for wannabes. Josh isn't looking for people that say yes and mean no. He's looking for people to say, wow, this is powerful. And he's also looking for people that could commit, C-O-M-M-I-T, commit to running. So 15,000 miles at 6 runners is 50 miles per week if they're running for 50 weeks. So they get 2 weeks off in there. So people, they have to count the cost. Say, could I actually get up and run basically 10 miles a day, 5 days a week, or a little over 7 miles a day, 7 days a week. So they really have to look at their life. They have to say, could I get up early in the morning and do this? Could I run half in the morning, half at night? Could I run half at lunch? So they have to determine. So Josh gets in there and he presents this opportunity, but he's not begging. He's not taking the first people that comes in. Oh, yeah, I love this idea. I want to come in and do this, Josh. No, Josh has to come into this process. He's interviewing people, and he's going to not make the decision on the spot, okay? So he's going to be very selective about who becomes one of his 5 runners, because once the clock starts ticking in the middle of January, it's a done deal. Either his team makes it or he doesn't. Or let's say he brings somebody on board that halfway into it quits. So if he's going to make his $15,000 in the 15,000 miles, he's going to have to make up the slack himself, and he does not want to have to do that. That's why he's interviewing people. That's why he's going to be very selective. He's going to be very specific. He's going to be very strong and very clear about the parameters of this, and also about what he's expecting. He's going to talk about the time and the timing, when it starts, when it ends, Do you have the time? You need to look at your schedule. Do you really have the time to be one of my 5? Because I can't make a mistake here. So he lays out the dates. Okay, so then he says, just between you and me, just off the record, Sally, Jim, John, whoever it might be, does this really appeal to you? Or is this just like exciting for now, as soon as you walk out the room and really count the cost? So I need to know. It's perfectly fine. You say, I'm not ready. This isn't it. Maybe next year I might want to join the team, but right now I'm really not ready. You say, great. Let's talk next year. I'll put you down on my list. So when is a good time for me to get back to you? So Josh says, okay, I've heard you say that you've counted the cost, you've done all this stuff, but now I've got other interviews I need to complete. I'm interviewing 20 people total in this. I got to find the 5 people, not necessarily the best runners, but the ones I know are very faithful to what they say they're going to do. That is faithful, caring, teaching, all those things that we talked about. And so I've got to complete my interview process, but while I'm doing that, I want you to do your due diligence. I might say, you're one, but I want you to be honest. I want you to get back and say, you know what? I've thought about it. I've talked to my husband, to my wife, to my kids. I've looked at my schedule. Honestly, as much as I'd love to do this, I can't do it now. So guys, do you see the power of this approach? Josh is not out there looking for the first 5 people that will come on board and say, I've got my 5. Look at me. I'm ready to go. No. He could just bite the dust in the middle of this thing unless he's found competent, committed people that have counted the cost. So guys, that's why it's important when we go back into our 5x5 model that Josh, you have to be so selective about who you're bringing in to that inner circle, because they will affect you, good or bad. They will affect you. They will affect the people that they deal with, good or bad. So you really have to get your head around, are these people really ready in this time of their life, with all that's going on in their life, with all the character traits and everything? Do they really fit into your inner circle, Josh? You have to really determine that. So that's why this is an interview process, and it's not a selling process. It's not a recruiting process. It's really finding 5 capable, competent, committed people, because what then is their job description? Their job description is to go out and interview for their inner circle, for their 5 that are capable, competent, committed, all those things. Guys, I'm telling you, if we even come close to adopting this approach as we build out our 5x5 approach, I'm telling you guys, good things are going to happen. But if we're trying to convince, persuade, sell, do anything other than use leverage interviewing to let people know, I have something good, I have something potentially freeing for you, for some of the dreams you've told me about, but I need to know, is this your time? Will you commit to this? If you will, let's go to work. Let's get this thing done, because at the end of this road is financial, time, and lifestyle freedom like we've never known, let alone the health benefits of being on these Relive products. Guys, I hope this makes sense. This is a paradigm shift. We've never really looked at it this way before. At least I haven't. A lot of people that we work with have not. But I'm telling you, this is the road to powerful duplication, dynamic duplication, that is going to get us where we need to get to. With that, guys, God bless you. I love you. Wendy and I are fully invested in this. We hope to find 5 people and beyond in our organization that really understand this approach. With that, I sign off.